Alright, here we are. We're at first fret capo. In reality, are you going to just not use a capo when you play this, realistically? Alright, so then here we are, not in key with him. First we've got this, just, here's your root E right there. And then your ring's going to want to be the next note, but it's for the same finger twice in a row. And then, there's a completely different section, which begins with this shape, that's most easily described by, E7 right now. You think of this, what we're doing there is we're taking an E chord and putting a D in it. This is the open D string, so this is E7. Putting both of them in there is E7, and this is also E7. Let's say we did that with the wrong fingers, which would just do for demonstrative purposes, and scooted it up to the 5th fret where you have a dot, your ring finger's on the dot, and you're skipping a string. So it's like, nothing, 5th fret, nothing, 4th fret, and it's just 2 notes. There's that. So we were like, which aren't so, I'm sorry. Your ring finger, let's just go bit by bit, is going to back up 1 fret on the same string it was on. Your middle finger is going to cease to fret. And your first finger is going to bar like you're playing these 2 notes from an A chord. So now we're going nothing, 4th fret, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, which requires some extent of the bending the wrong way at your first finger. So that looks like, what we did is we were doing this. We backed up, and instead of having your middle finger involved, your index finger became involved. So other shapes are, without worrying about how we're going to do it. And then the next, and often you'd resolve that to E, but in this actual song, he uses a different E. The good news is here's us having just gone, your index finger is going to stay exactly where it is, and your ring finger is going to move down 1, 2 strings towards the ground at the same fret it's at. And your pinky comes in right there on the dot at the 5th fret, on the root, like as if you were tuning or whatever. So we were playing this, and then your ring, it's like a mirror image opposite of what we were doing, what our ring finger does. And then your pinky comes in right there. So there's that grip. Nothing, 2, 2, 4, 5, like that. As in, so that's as far as we got with it. And first of all, before you even try rhythm, it's just this shape, this shape, this shape. So that's what to work on in your practice right now. And don't even worry about rhythm, just make it a 3-thing list. We've got this shape, then you back up and use your first finger instead. Your first finger stays where it is as these 2 fingers get involved. And so we can have our first little section be we'll also hit the low E string right there, so you can't be barring that string as well. So there we are. Like that, and that's, but for now we're not getting any farther than that on that section. He does a bunch of other crazy stuff that turns out we ran out of time for. But there we are, we can totally go. And what I wrote down at the bottom of the page is just he's going to do that later in the song, which if we think about our that we do quite a bit and we're about to be doing, a lot of the time that's got which is that same shape we were just doing. He's going to do that later in the song, so, and you can totally just do that if you want. You can go, if you want. Then we get to our verse, we skipped ahead, we left some space on the page, and we're going all thumb like he does. We go, so there's section, and I'd really like you to stop in your practice and get really good at that right now without worrying about rhythm. You're certainly not looking at the page, since you can just, it's 2 of these, 1 of those, 1 of those. It goes second one of the other type, first thing again. So I'd like you to stop and just become the grand master of that riff. And then we're moving on to A stuff that's very similar. And he starts us off with the kind of thing we expect, which is... And that's where it gets interesting, is on that one, where we go, you know, 2nd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, 4th. He goes straight to... And that was the interesting part, where we left off. So A7 you've been doing this way, which works in any number of circumstances, but here we need to use adjacent fingers, which should be the standard phrasing for A7, since there's going to be times when we need our other fingers available to do things around it. So, you know, just across the board we want to use adjacent fingers when we can. Let me just get this guy down for a second. Hey there. I'm just finishing up my last list. Do you mind chilling out here for a minute?
Oh, thanks, sir.
Alrighty, so as we were saying, and that's as far as we made it. Right hand wise, on the very last thing, and because we were just doing this, which is what I'd like you to start, you know, you can totally go already and then just pause there and work on the shape change, which is from this to this, just go, and then the timing is actually, you hit this with your thumb, we need 1, 2, 3 fingers on 1, 2, 3 strings to go, and then our thumb swaps down and hits 3 strings, so 3 strings here, strings 1, 2, and 3, 3 strings here, 5, 4, and 3, not the 6th string, but for like you're playing A stuff, so we can kind of pretend the 6th string's not there right now, we're going, So our whole verse section so far, which, you know, if you get really good at this, it'll be like a whole lot of other things in the song, was... If you want to finish, you can just do that, and then we'll see what happens next. The other thing I wanted you to work on is just going... That's the, you know, when we were going... That one right there. And that's the same as going like this, going between that and a regular E chord, which is the thing I wrote down at the bottom of the page as figure 1, like they write in guitar magazines. In this song we went weird E, but in reality very often it's going to be like E to this thing, to this thing. And those are the 3 shapes that I wrote down at the bottom. It's going to come up more in this song. And that's all that we're doing that one. Yeah, because that'll be in a lot of different things, this type of thing. So there we are.
Okay. And I just picked this song, you know, if there's a better one to learn.
No, they're all